A COVID normal world of economic recession, school closure and disruption has amplified problems of equity, engagement and participation in education and training. These young people living in Melbourne's Inner North speak to their experiences of education and training at this time. These include issues of pathways and transitions, digital infrastructure, challenges with applied learning and of learning online, and new possibilities for the VCE and the ATAR, and for rethinking the sort of skills and capabilities that are considered to be of value in Australian education systems. These voices speak to the importance of the social dimensions of schooling and hope for more inclusive forms of education and training.
And all this uncertainty about, like, we don't necessarily know when exams are going to be or if they are going to happen. We didn't for a long time know if they were going to be pushed back. We don't know if schoolies is going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. And the uncertainty of, not knowing whether or not you're going to school the next day. For that period where my school was closed down for the case, that was incredibly anxiety provoking. Also, my mood has been drastically affected. It's been very low a lot of the time. Motivation, again, is really, really difficult right now. Online SACs I'm finding very difficult because focusing at home in a situation where you're not really used to that kind of intense period of focus for 1 or 2 hours.
Education is one of the main important things in my life. I was studying youth work in RMIT, but due to COVID-19, the classes became online and there wasn't enough resources for me to continue my studies. I became very disappointed and upset.
I was studying at La Trobe University, a Bachelor of Psychological Science, but I'm currently on a break because of COVID-19.
And I can look back at this as such a rewarding experience and go, I actually enjoyed my final year of high school from home. Like, it sucked some of the time, but it's also so rewarding.
I feel that opportunities are opening up for a more neurodiverse world, which is nice as we kind of realise how ineffective schooling is once we actually have to focus on it as something important going on in society. It's getting more attention, and the discussion of raising an ATAR is pretty exciting, I think, because I'm doing unscored VCE. I feel a little bit gypped that I decided to do it, but I think it's good for future generations.
I'd like to think that in 5 years, in terms of education, that hopefully by then in Victoria, they have come up with a better system than the ATAR to measure education outcomes. The ATAR system has definitely been pushed this year in terms of its capacity, so I hope that this is the start of a revamp for the Victorian education, because I think there is probably a lot better way that they could assess Year 12 students and Year 11 students' education outcomes, because, not everyone works well under an exam, and when an exam is 60% of your final score, is it a fair way of assessing someone or a whole cohort? Maybe not.
I think COVID has exemplified the inequalities within the VC system. I think that public versus private, for example, private were able to close before we did, and were able to test out their equipment, test out how they were going to run online learning. But for me, who's considered North gets considered a pretty high socioeconomic public school, the first 2 weeks of lockdown, actually, the first time, we were dealing with system overloading, internet dropouts. And yeah, I think that definitely put us back a lot.